Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Right Winging It, where common sense is still common and we don't do trigger warnings. Donald Trump has officially turned Gavin Newsom into a walking meltdown. The guy's unraveling faster than his hair gel budget. His big master plan to crown himself the Democrat Party's shiny savior, to rig California even harder than it already is, and to ride that crooked wave straight into the White House, yeah, it just blew up in his face. Now, instead of strutting around like some West Coast wonder boy, he looks like a desperate, hairsprayed mess with a terminal case of Trump derangement syndrome. His presidential aspirations crumbling faster than San Francisco sidewalks. And what's his brilliant comeback strategy? Screaming at his own party for not hating Trump hard enough. Pathetic. So sit back, watch Gavin's breakdown, and remember, Trump doesn't even have to lift a finger to break these clowns. They do it to themselves. And hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Unlike Gavin, we're not falling apart over here.
There's literally no more evidence than you need than the evidence that has been submitted in the first 6.5, 7 months of the Trump administration. And you think this is going to get better? You think if we just say, oh, well, Mr. Trump, it's fine. We know it's a race to the bottom. You may call upon those other states. Can you just do 5 and California will stand down?
Yeah.
God damn it, enough.
Yeah.
Democrats, stop being weak. Step up. These guys have been dominating the narrative. They have been defining the terms of the debate. It's time to get on our off our heels, onto our front toes. It's time to do just that. Dominate the narrative, flood the zone, and surround sound. It's time for us to all band together.
Being the governor of California, Gavin has perfected the art of word salad souffle. He strings together a bunch of fluffy nonsense, sprinkles it with buzzwords, and serves it up like he's Aristotle with a hairdryer. His grand advice to Democrats: dominate the narrative, flood the zone, surround sound. Wow, Shakespeare, truly profound. What does any of that even mean? It sounds less like political strategy and more like instructions for setting up a stereo system. And then there's the Democrat addiction to the word literally. They drop it like teenagers trying to sound smart, but instead of clarity, it's their way of saying, shut up, no debate allowed. They hijack the word, strip it of meaning, and weaponize it. That's why enforcing the law becomes literally fascism. Saying kids shouldn't be surgically mutilated, literally Nazism. Migrant holding facilities, nope, can't call them that. They're literally Auschwitz now. Your eyes see chain link fences and border guards, but they want your heart to see jackboots and ovens. And then comes Gavin's therapy session. He admits his entire existence revolves around one thing: Trump. Every thought, every action, every late-night hair gel touch-up, all guided by his obsession with Orange Man. In Gavin's broken brain, it's no longer the rule of law, it's the rule of dawn. Yeah, nothing screams stability like your whole world orbiting around a guy you claim to hate.
Dawn, no longer the rule of law. And people need to understand the lines that are being redrawn in Texas are not about party, they're about power. And you've got to meet fire with fire, and power needs to be asserted in blue states, not just red states.
Gavin says Democrats need to be more firm, more resolved, more aggressive. Translation: we're losing our grip, panic harder, and is it just me, or does nobody idolize Donald Trump more than Democrats? They talk about him like he's the referee, the coach, and the entire rule book rolled into one. They can't make a move without first asking themselves, what would Trump do? It's obsession bordering on worship, and now we've got Gavin trying to copy Trump's entire playbook on X. You can see the desperation oozing through his hair gel. The guy's out here doing Trump cosplay while whining that Texas isn't fair. Let's look at fair. Texas, Harris gets 42% of the vote. Democrats hold 36% of the House seats. California, Trump gets 40% of the vote, but Republicans only hold 17% of the seats. Illinois, New York, same scam. But sure, Democrats, tell us again how Republicans are the cheaters. At this point, any Democrat accusation is just projection. They accuse Trump of something because it's exactly what they're doing. And what really drives them nuts? Republicans are finally starting to fight back with the same tools Democrats have abused for years. The left's moral grandstanding only works when they've got power, and now that they might lose it, they're dropping the Halo Act and scrambling to play Trump light. Case in point, Gavin Newsom tweeting in all caps like some cheap Trump knockoff. The man who spent years mocking Trump's tweets now sits there red-faced, reading his own cringy knockoff posts. Even he looks embarrassed, and that's saying something because embarrassment usually bounces off that guy like bullets off Superman.
A tweet here.
Which one's this?
This is, well, what I would love is to have you read this in your voice. If you'd like to just take a shot at it.
Well, I mean, wow. Tomorrow, history will be made. Now, I'm not going to be as effectively as the person that you may recognize is on Truth Social, but in this case, we pushed this out on Twitter. Caroline Leavitt will have no answers.
Well, hold on. I don't want you to breeze right through the brilliant. Go on. It's not just Caroline Leavitt.
Caroline
Leavitt. That's right.
Of no answers for the supposed fake media about California's beautiful, big, beautiful maps. People are saying that they were the greatest maps. They're just saying this. They are, Brian. People are saying they're greatest maps.
Many people have heard them.
Ever created. Even better than Christopher Columbus's. Donald the Failure Trump, be warned that tomorrow may be the worst day of your life, all because you missed the deadline. He misses a lot of deadlines. Liberation Day for America, GCN. I should have said thank you for your attention to this matter.
So that little circus act was Gavin sitting down with Democrat lapdog Brian Tyler Cohen, a guy who makes bootlicking look like an Olympic sport. This clown practically begged Gavin to read his cringy all-caps Trump impersonation like it was some kind of comedic masterpiece. Meanwhile, Gavin's sitting there looking like he'd rather be anywhere else because even he knows it's desperate, childish, and flat out embarrassing. And why is he doing it? Because his big gerrymander scheme just went down in flames. 2/3 of Californians told him to pound sand on his plan to blow up their independent redistricting committee. So now his PR team is shoving him in front of cameras with this bargain bin Trump cosplay, hoping nobody notices his entire strategy is collapsing. But here's the problem. Gavin can't even do Trump. The man's delivery was so lifeless and dull, it made Ben Stein sound like Tony Robbins. He knows the optics are a disaster. The governor of the biggest state in America, a guy who bashes Trump 24/7, now reduced to mimicking him like a toddler on TikTok. And Democrats? Oh, they think this is Galaxy Brain 4D chess. They pat themselves on the back like, see, MAGA's too dumb to get the joke. No, you idiots, we get the joke. The joke is you. Because here's the thing. Trump's style is goofy, sure, but it's authentic. The all caps rants, the nicknames, the trolling, it's uniquely Trump. That's why it resonates. Gavin copying it is like watching a karaoke singer butcher Sinatra. It's fake, it's forced, and it's humiliating. And yet the left cheers it on like it's some comeback moment. I'm forgetting that less than a year ago, Gavin was presiding over California cities literally burning to the ground. But hey, don't worry, he's tweeting in all caps now, so the Democrats are back in the fight, right? What a joke.
Have a country if he rigs this election. You will have a president who will be running for a third term. Mark my word. I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I received in the mail a Trump 2028 hat from one of his biggest supporters. These guys are not screwing around. The rules do not apply to him. The most corrupt president in history. He doesn't believe in free enterprise, crony capitalism. He is wrecking this country, wrecking the economy.
Gavin and the Democrats are in full meltdown mode because their party's sitting at historic lows in popularity. They've got no power, no leverage, and Donald Trump has them completely cornered. All they can do is flail, complain, and cry about how unfair it all is. And spare me Gavin's tired line about Trump being the most corrupt president in history. Really? You're just going to pretend the last guy wasn't barely functioning while Americans were told everything was fine? That wasn't leadership. That was smoke and mirrors on a national scale. But Trump's the villain because he points out the obvious. The 2020 census padded blue states, shorted red states, and boosted representation in ways that skewed the balance. In California, Illinois, and New York, about 40% of voters went for Trump. Yet Republicans only hold around 15% of the congressional seats. Trump simply says, Texas, play by the rules, use the tools you've got, and level the field. And Democrats lose their minds, not because it's against the law, but because he's beating them at their own game. That's why Newsom is unraveling faster than his hair gel sets. Every day, his White House dreams slip further away, and he knows it. He's not watching his star rise. He's watching it fizzle out in real time. So if you're tired of the meltdowns, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next round of Newsom's breakdowns. Trust me, this show's just getting started.
What the fuck is wrong with you? People working! Go arrest fucking criminals! What the fuck are you doing? Go fucking stop the work!
Right behind you, brother.
You guys are fucking cowards! All of you are fucking cowards.
Watch out. Get another one with him. Keep it going.
Well done, gentlemen. Well done.
Greg, Mr. Bohino from Fox 11. Can I get a quick comment?
Hey, what's going on here?
How you doing? What happened?
We're here making Los Angeles a sacred place.
So Gavin's out here babbling about making Los Angeles a sacred place, and which is rich coming from the guy who turned it into a crime-ridden tent city with sidewalks that smell like a porta potty at Coachella. The truth is, Democrats aren't mad at Trump because of policy. They're mad because he crashed their exclusive club. For decades, these career hacks lived off corruption, wasting your money with zero accountability and patting each other on the back for it. Then Trump walks in, flips the table, and proves you can actually get things done if you're not a spineless bureaucrat, and now they're exposed. These clowns have no brains, no competence, no morals, and definitely no plan to stop him. Their strategy? Staged arrests at ICE facilities, hijacking press conferences for attention, and sad little cosplay stunts on X pretending to be Trump. That's not leadership, and that's bad improv. Meanwhile, Trump doesn't even have to break a sweat. He just flexes real power, reminds Gavin who's actually running the show, and just to drive the point home, sends ICE right outside of Gavin's big event. And what does Gavin do? Melts down like a kid who just got his juice box taken away.
Well, I think it's pretty sick and pathetic. And it just said everything you need to know, the setting that we're under. That they chose the time, manner, and place to send their district director outside right when we're about to have this press conference. Said everything you know about Donald Trump's America. And that was top down. You know that for a fact. And they'll deny it, I'm sure. Maybe they won't deny it. Said everything you know about the authoritarian tendencies of the President of the United States.
Gavin and the Democrats are throwing tantrums because their party's at historic rock-bottom favorability. They've got no power, no leverage, and Donald Trump's got them flat on their backs like an older brother pinning the runt down with a loogie dangling an inch from their nose. All they can do is squirm, cry to mom, and whine about how unfair it all is, and spare me Gavin's "Trump is the most corrupt president in history" routine. Really? You're just going to skip over the fact that your last guy was a walking teleprompter with a pulse pretending to run the country while the American people were conned into believing he was functional? That wasn't corrupt. That was elder abuse on a national scale. But Trump's the villain because he points out the obvious: the 2020 census padded blue states, undercounted red states, and inflated representation with illegal immigrants. California, Illinois, and New York, 40% of voters went for Trump, but only 15% of the congressional seats are Republican. Trump simply says, hey, Texas, use the tools you've got, play by the rules, and level the field. Suddenly, Democrats lose their minds, not because it's illegal, but because he's finally beating them at their own dirty game, and that's why Newsom's unraveling faster than his hair gel dries. Every day, his presidential dreams shrivel a little more, and the guy knows it. He's not watching his star rise. He's watching it burn out in real time. So if you're sick of the Democrat meltdowns, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next round of Newsom's breakdowns. Because let's be honest, this show's just getting started.